To introduce our second speaker is one Sir Benson Abila. When asked what's his mother's superpower, he says her mother is strong and has a kind heart. Her superpower is giving, and she has inspired him to adopt the slogan, "The secret to living is giving." Looking back at her own life and the things that she has done to endure only make her strong. But what's even better is the people she has empowered and can count her as light in their lives. It really is quite humbling. Over to you, Mr. Benson Abila. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. Now, I will be evaluating Sheila. Sheila is working on Project 2 from the Competent Communication series. And the objective of a speech is to present a talk that is organized in a manner that leads the audience to a clearly defined goal. Now, the objectives of the speech will include, she's supposed to select an appropriate outline that allows listeners to easily follow and understand her speech. She's also supposed to have a clear message with supporting material that backs up the main message. She's also supposed to have appropriate transitions moving from one point to another. And most importantly, she's supposed to have a very strong introduction and conclusion. Now, the title of Sheila's speech is "Who Are You Really?" And she hopes to inspire more people to reflect inwards. She's also looking to work on her eye contact and tone of variation. Well, everyone, let's give a hearty welcome to Sheila as she gives her speech. Sheila, who are you really? Who are you really, Sheila?
Who are you? Fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'd like you to think about the first 3 things that came to your mind when I asked you that question. On most, if not all social media platforms, when opening an account, is a slot to put in your bio, which essentially is a place where you describe yourself. Most people tend to say mother, husband, animal lover, entrepreneur, and the like. They're not wrong. But try and describe yourself without using external factors such as friends, family, or even your career. What are you left with? One of the most widely discussed topics today is what our purpose is. But before we can even answer that, we have to intricately know ourselves. That means we have to ask ourselves, what is self-awareness and how can we achieve it? Psychology today describes self-awareness as monitoring your inner thoughts, emotions, and your beliefs. In this journey we call life, no 2 people can follow the same path. Even siblings, sisters, and brothers, one will become maybe an artist, another will become a doctor, whatever it is. We're inherently different based on our upbringings and general life experiences, the schools you go to, the friends you keep, the career path you take. Thus, we have to take steps to know ourselves better. And not just surface level, we have to really know ourselves. This can involve asking yourself questions such as, what makes me tick? What gives me an adrenaline rush? Or even maybe the most significant in finding your purpose would be, what are my inflexible beliefs and what can I compromise on? Knowing the answers to these questions will go a long way in helping you to know where to make appropriate changes and even where to build on your strengths. Self-awareness is an aspect of life that many people fail to pay attention to. Most of us are just going through the motions of education, your career, marriage, and family, and many forget to take a step back, pause, and try and figure yourself out. There's a study by Greenpeak and Cornell University that found that the executives who are most likely to be the most effective were those self-aware leaders who actually were found to be especially good at working with individuals and in teams. So how can we achieve this self-awareness? It starts by creating a space for yourself. Ideally, this involves taking time off of your usual activities to self-reflect, a concept known as mindfulness. Now, There are many ways you can do this. You can do it by meditation in the morning or while you're swimming for exercise. One of the most common ways, however, is journaling. We all know what journaling is. You write down your thoughts or your feelings in a book. Psych Central says that the act of writing accesses your left brain, which is analytical and rational. Furthermore, writing removes mental blocks and allows you to use all of your brain power to understand yourself, others, and even the world around you. The National Science Foundation of America found that we have an average of about 50,000 thoughts a day. Just think about that, 50,000. So if you just take a little time of your day to sit down and write about some of these thoughts, just imagine how much you could learn about yourself in, for example, as the span of a year. It's crazy, I know. Another practice that we should embrace is becoming a good listener. Stephen R. Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, says that most people listen with the intent to reply rather than to understand. Instead of us evaluating or judging what this other person is saying, we should take steps to connect with them and listen to not just what they're saying, but how they're saying it. By practicing this, we'll be then better placed to be able to listen to our inner voice. Additionally, we need to consume as much personal development content as we can. This comes in different forms: books, podcasts, TED Talks on YouTube, and the like. There are many ways to do it. How you do it is upon you. Just make sure you do it, because the more you do it, the more you learn about yourself. For instance, in the past 2 months while we've been home, I've been listening to a few podcasts, and I came to the realization that I don't really take time to celebrate my small wins, in that I've been working towards my ACCA qualification, which on average people should take 3 years, but I'm still in my 4th year and I'm still doing it and I'm not done. So every time the results come out for an exam and I've passed, instead of me celebrating, I'm more focused on how long I've taken to do this thing and how much further I have to go. But now I know for the next exam, that is if I pass, I'll take a moment and celebrate that win. So it's different for everyone. We'll learn a lot of things about ourselves. More generally, however, practicing mindfulness and consequently being more self-aware will help you find your purpose. The most impactful people in the world were people who stood by their beliefs, and thus their purpose was fulfilled. For instance, if we take Wangari Maathai, she was fought hard against the government, we all know that, but she stuck to what she believed in, and her purpose was fulfilled to make us more aware of the of the environment. So my call to action today is, as much as we should love ourselves and embrace our flaws, let us take time to analyze and be critical of how we think, act, and behave. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, I pose the question to you once more. Who are you? Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Who are you? That is something that you need to think about. Fun fact about Sheila Mwathi. Her mother is a Toastmaster, and her mother is the one that introduced her to the Toastmasters Club. And that tells you something about mothers. Mothers introduce you to the best that life has to offer, because, ladies and gentlemen, the Toastmasters experience is one of the best things that could ever happen to your life. Thank you, Sheila, for your very well-prepared speech. And Sheila says her mother's superpower is her outgoing personality. She has a person for everything. For pineapples, for buckets, in the hospital, so that she doesn't have to make lines, she has a person there also. It really is fascinating. And her mother has taught her not to care about what others think. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have quite a number of things to pick up from one Miss Sheila Mwathi.